What's something that is considered normal now but won't be in 10 years? Largely unrestricted travel through the developed world. I visited Europe this summer as an American and traveled effortlessly through 6 countries. The only even slight delays were England to EU and back. The rest didn't even look at my passport. It was like traveling states in America. Between increasing global migration, political splintering and tension, potential US drawback and world order keeping role, likely increased terror incidents to come, economic turmoil, and yet unseen effects of climate change, I think we will see borders become harder to cross than today. I'm probably being too hopeful here, but I hope it's shopping on Amazon. They're horrible now, and with all the better options even eBay is better. They don't deserve their success anymore. They mostly sell fake Chinese crap now, have unreliable delivery times, bad packaging, worse customer service than before, etc. Don't even get me started on getting returned, open items as new and having to wait 2 weeks for the refund. Having screens everywhere. I know. Seems like we are going the opposite way. But I could see a world where we have so much tech integrated into phones and so much screen time that it becomes unclassy to have TVs in every room of the house or a computer sitting out. Centering your entire living room around a TV will be considered kinda trashy. Screens will be looked at as something to simplify or reduce. Hopefully family vlog style social media content. I think we'll have a wave of kids who grow up being featured on popular family YouTube channels or TikTok, or any other platform, reach adulthood and speak out about how unhealthy it was. We already have some who were filmed on family reality shows that aired on TV channels like TLC, but the proliferation of these on social media is so much more widespread. The way we treat addiction. The disease model will go out of style, thank God, and we will treat it as a behavioral disorder because that's what it is. And we will be able to mitigate this behavior before it gets so out of hand, and treatment centers will stop outsourcing their actual fucking treatment to 12-step programs. The future is bright in this area. Hopefully all the addictions we've picked up over the last decade or so. Phone addiction, social media addiction, low-level alcoholism, porn and masturbation addiction, outrage addiction, daily weed use, doom scrolling, video games, etc. It's either gonna get better or worse, and better sounds like a lot more fun to me. Long-haul truckers. At some point in the coming years, the shipping industry will become automated. We won't like it, millions of truckers will be out of business, but corporations will spend millions to get the legislation passed to automate a large amount of the shipping industry. Owning a house. One absolute nightmare scenario for the future would be a company like BlackRock finagling the government into giving them the power of imminent domain seizure, then seizing whole neighborhoods and then renting them back to the former owners at a 500 markup. Going to a hospital or emergency room and walking out alive. We will have no functional antibiotics within 20 years from now, and likely sooner. Going to hospital is going to be a roll of the die on whether you get an infection and die if you need surgery or an emergency. A lot of modern attitudes towards relationships. Marriage and dedication sustained for centuries, but suddenly we know better because we have computers? Nah, I reckon Terry's going to be a couple of generations of emotionally stunted people, then a return to monogamy. Owning a home. For most folks, the rich will keep getting richer, and that will include buying up all the real estate. Normal people will rent forever and won't retire. And this is when euthanasia will finally get support in the US for all the wrong reasons. Driving non-electric cars. Here in India, electric vehicles are seeing a sharp rise, and I'm definitely expecting a vast majority of the country to use them by 2030 or so. And even in foreign countries, electric vehicles will definitely be the main thing soon. X200B. Living in a locale that doesn't hit crazy temperature extremes and or flood on the regular. Normalizing the views of bigots by extending or maintaining your friendship to them. Not using AI at work or personally. I get anxiety even considering this question. Seems like things change too fast anymore for people to make meaningful predictions. Humans have always been anxious about the future, but this time genuinely feels different. With any luck, vaping in college. College is practically the last predatory scam aimed at young minds. Let's have a few generations where crippling debt for schooling is a thing of the past. Hopefully we'll have a biodegradable replacement for all of the single-use plastics that we're creating. Microplastics have now found their way into virtually every ecosystem on Earth. DEA setting secret harsh prescription thresholds on pharmacies, causing pharmacies to delay or turn away patients having legitimate medical reasons for their personal prescriptions. Cheese on every food and beverages. On some foods, yes, but on drinks? Why? I can't comprehend a brown sugar bubble tea with a cheese as toppings. That's just you hating on trans people. The normalized language in many parts of the US around this is shocking now to some of us, but in another decade it will be truly reviled. Warehouse space will overtake all other commercial space in terms of cost and demand. In many areas this is already the case, especially as compared to retail space. Letting children have unfettered access to all information all the time and specifically giving them tacit permission and encouragement to use social media. Eating meat. Maybe not in 10 years, but eventually it will become bizarre for a person to kill and eat an animal while there's so much food available. Stealing identity, property, money and essentially a person's life only because they were a good Samaritan and lived an honest life. Influencers, which is a stupid name for them. What do they influence? And are they a good bad influence? I've seen mostly bad. Eating animals. More and more people will realize the immorality of it. Your vegan friends were 30-40 years ahead of the curve. The democratic system of government. First the USA, then the rest of the world. Prepare for it, because they are. Hopefully radiation treatment for cancer. I've always compared it to the modern-day leeches for medical treatment, keeping grass lawns alive in Texas summers. If my neighborhood is any indication, we are fucking done with that. At some point, maybe 20 years away, cash will become an oddity and we will all just spend money electronically. Handyman, people who know how to work with their hands and fix things. They're becoming a dying breed for sure. Probably spending a day in the summer heat if current climate change trends continue. Spoiler, they will. If social media history is any indication, TikTok won't be the most popular app among teens in 10 years. Buying new clothes every month and discarding clothes for not being fashionable. Or maybe 30 years. Having traditional weather patterns. Summer being fun instead of a series of life-threatening events. Abundant fresh water. Sea life. Winter. Permafrost. Home ownership. Retirement. Having children. MAGA. Trump is in his 80s. A lot happens to your stamina and charisma between 80-90. Democracy. It's on the decline worldwide, with far-right parties gaining traction, heavily praising people born in the early 2020s for successfully using a toilet. Free public water. I think we are less than a decade away from water wars. Stable weather conditions that aren't dominated by extreme weather events. Enjoying a summer that, while hot, is entirely free of deadly heat waves. Having a small group of people making decisions for millions of people. Air intake grills on the front of cars. Electric cars don't need them. Hating on boomers. But only because they'll mostly be dead by then. Unregulated phone use for minors. It's already starting to change. Actually being able to afford something in life or buying a house. Interacting with a human being for basic customer service needs. The 5-day work week. 4 days is better and just as productive. Games being complete on release. They'll just patch it later. Owning things outright without having to pay a subscription. Getting easy access to clean drinking water wherever you go. Botox is a preventative measure in your teens' early 20s. Animal business will probably be looked at as slavery. Alcohol being the go-to-party social drug. Hopefully. Retirement. Freedom of speech. Freedom of religion.